Now let's talk about what you can expect from the dietary adjustments that we are making this week. We have added in a lot of fiber and nutrients that are going to clean the pipes, so if you are not accustomed to these dietary practices, then I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You can most likely expect lots of high-quality bathroom time. The amount of fiber and nutrient-dense foods that I'm suggesting is guaranteed to move old, backed-up sludge out of the colon. For some people, these adjustments can be uncomfortable or inconvenient, so it's important to pace yourself with your transition to a higher fiber, plant-based diet. The more you are willing to make all of the necessary adjustments in week 1, the faster your microbiome will begin to change and your body will start handling these foods much more efficiently. So, what happens when you neglect good GI health and you consume the wrong foods that back up the pipes? Well, let me tell you a quick story. Do you remember Elvis Presley? I guess the better question is, how could you ever forget Elvis? Is he really dead, or did he just get beamed back up to the planet from which he originated? If one thing is for sure, it's that his legacy is much more resilient than the physical body which he occupied. That body, like all human bodies, was limited by time and the laws of nature. Because the Presley family sealed the autopsy report for 50 years, which kept it from being publicly released, it was believed for a long time that what caused Elvis to die at the relatively young age of 42 was prescription drug overdose. And it's true that prescription drugs did in fact play a role in his death. At the time of his autopsy, he was said to have a total of 9 different prescription drugs in his system. But if we take a closer look at the autopsy report, things get more complicated and we start to see exactly how influential Elvis's diet was on his sudden demise. After his death, Elvis's autopsy report showed that his colon was full of more than 30 pounds of feces. How is this possible? Well, in the months leading up to his death, he suffered from chronic constipation, which, over time, enlarges the colon. And upon autopsy, Elvis's colon was twice as long and twice as wide as a normal colon. Elvis died sitting on the toilet, trying to make number 2 happen. Put simply, the strain of attempting to defecate compressed the singer's abdominal aorta, shutting down his heart. In other words, because his colon was so impacted, meaning that there was so much fecal matter that was hardened and built up in his colon, and because of the strain that he was using in order to attempt to move that compacted waste out of his bowels, he experienced a sudden heart attack that killed him on the spot. The catalyst for his heart failure was a bowel blockage. Now let's circle back to the prescription medications Presley was using. One side effect of opiate abuse is severe constipation, and Elvis had been abusing opiates for years. On top of this, for several months preceding his death, Elvis had been consuming an incredibly unhealthy diet of 12,000 calories a day in the form of cheeseburgers and other greasy, fatty, fried foods. 12,000 calories a day is 6 times the recommended daily intake for an average person. This diet not only left him overweight, but with extremely high blood pressure. And all of this abuse on his body set him up for a premature death. As I mentioned, those 12,000 calories a day were coming in the form of processed foods, excessive low-quality animal protein, and trans fats. The lack of plant fiber in his diet, combined with the prescription drugs that negatively affected the peristaltic motion of his intestines, prevented him from being able to effectively move that waste out of his system, which is why fecal matter built up in his colon. Had he been consuming a diet built on fibrous, green, leafy plant foods, it would have been physically impossible for him to consume 12,000 calories a day. Not only that, but having a few more plants in his diet might have provided the fiber his body needed to push the waste matter out of his system. Of course, there is no doubt that the prescription opiates played a major role in this extreme case of constipation as well. Elvis's sudden death seemed to be an unintentional, self-inflicted tragedy. But it is important to talk about things like this. Had he known the full range of harm he was inflicting on his body, or had he been aware of what he could do to improve his digestive function, things might have ended differently for the king. The moral of this story is that it's really important to make nutrient-dense, fiber-rich foods a priority in your diet, because these foods are responsible for moving old, backed-up sludge through and out of the digestive tract. Not only that, but you also want to remove foods and substances that get in the way of normal, efficient digestion. And we talked about 3 of those today, being sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. By following the Nutritarian food pyramid that I have laid out for you in this course, you'll be well on the way to having a clean, efficiently moving, and healthy GI tract, which is the foundation of a healthy body. So let's go ahead and summarize this week's plan. When you wake up, drink water. It's important to be well hydrated going into the day. But then the next thing you should consume is a cup of warm lemon water with sea salt. This will kickstart the detoxification process and let the liver know that it can release some of the fat that it has stored up over time. As the overall fiber in your diet increases, it is quite common for the warm lemon water drink to stimulate a bowel movement first thing in the morning. This is exactly what we want to happen. It lets us know that the digestive tract is working just as it should. And this is another motivation to cut back on the coffee, because if you're drinking coffee, that will put your week 1 colon cleanse into overdrive. If you are not hungry in the morning, then don't eat. Not feeling hungry is a sign that the body is focusing its energy and resources on other systems, and there is no need to overload the digestive system with more food when it is not directly asking for nourishment. Also, when you can refrain from eating in the mornings, you continue the body's work of detoxifying that it started overnight. This is an incredible opportunity for your body to reallocate energy to DNA repair and muscle regeneration. Digestion can take anywhere from 50 to 80% of your total body energy. So if your body grants you the opportunity to take a break from digestion, then by all means take it. And on the other hand, if you do wake up hungry, then make sure you honor your body's need for food and provide it with a nourishing meal. When you become hungry, have a green smoothie or a Fab 4 smoothie as your first meal of the day. These low-sugar smoothies are an excellent way to get a head start on the day. When you drink a healthy smoothie, you increase your nutrient reserves and you feed the body while still maintaining a stable blood sugar level, which is a very important topic that will open up next week. If you just can't get down with some smoothies right now, then there are still plenty of healthy breakfast alternatives, and I'll be sure to include those recipes in your course materials for the week. Lunch should ideally be kept vegetarian, sugar-free, and it should include things like greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Remember to have that green salad before your main dish. Dinner should include a large salad before the main entree as well. If you decide that you still want to eat animal protein, then this is the meal where that is most appropriate. But keep it to a minimum. We want no more than 3 to 4 ounces of meat 3 nights per week. All other meals should be vegetarian, meaning no animal protein. Alright, we have reached the conclusion of the week 1 video. I want to take this opportunity to thank you again for participating in this 4-week nutrition challenge. I know there was quite a bit of information covered, so take your time, go back through and re-listen to anything that didn't stick the first time. Remember that you'll have access to the recipes, cheat sheets, grocery shopping lists, and a guide for what to eat this week in your course materials. Your homework will be to select which recipes you want to try out this week, prepare your grocery shopping list, and then go out and buy all of the foods you need to get you started on this 4-week challenge. If you are the one shopping for food, then I suggest you try to buy organic produce as much as possible. Also, don't forget to buy local, like at a farmer's market or from local vendors, if that is an option for you. And I look forward to seeing you in this week's online video chat. Take care and have a great day. See you soon!